Hey everybody, it's Malika, and I am back at you again with the Love Your Damn Self podcast, where we talk about self-love, healing, and real talk. That's what we do over here. Anyway, y'all, check it out. This is real, not expected, spontaneous to say the least. And I was just sitting here and I got a thought, about mothers. Something usually when I'm by myself, I'm really, really reflective. I'm very intuitive and I'm deeply spiritual. Like that's the type of person that I am. And I meditate a lot. And I'm an introvert. Naturally, I'm an introvert. Now, I know a lot of you find that hard to believe, but it really is true. Now, let me explain this to you. I could be social, and that's what you see me do most of the time. Like, I'll show up, I will get the job done, I will drop the mic, I'll have the crowd jumping, I'll have everybody laughing and excited. But at the end of the day, when that's all done, I'm usually home by myself with my computer and my favorite blanket and my PJs, if I have any, because I'm like one of them butt naked people. I know that's too much information, but I'm a true nudist at heart. So I know we're all dealing with quarantine right now. We're dealing with COVID-19. And it's just not a big deal. Not that it's not a big deal. I'm not making light of it. I'm just saying it hasn't really been an issue for me because this is what I do anyway. Can't all the introverts say amen? I go to where I need to go. And then I'm like, I want to go home. I don't generally get excited being around people. Anyway, so now that that is all out the way, I was sitting here and I had some thoughts about mama, because that's what this is called, right? Or this show is going to be about mama. I just want you to know. So I'm just going to share from my heart. You know I love story time, so gather around, boys and girls, ladies and gents, kings and queens, and I'm just going to share my heart with you today. Now, I wanted to give a disclaimer. This message or show that I'm doing today and sharing my truth is not meant to, if I should say something, to offend my mom or disrespect her in any type of way, because I'm not on that type of time. And I certainly love my mother to life. I don't like to say I love anybody to death. I love her to life. She is the only mother, as my sister constantly reminds me. Shout out to Yaz. What's up, boo? Reminds me that I have, So I want to start by saying my mother was the first woman that I loved. I mean, I loved everything about her. I used to just stare at her. I was quite obsessed with her. My mother was a beautiful woman growing up. I think she's still beautiful. She just was so beautiful. She was natural. And I was enthralled by that. Just everything about her. It was just like she was just a perfect, little doll. But she never acted like that. She's a very humble woman, very sweet woman, if you know her, can be. And so she was the first woman that I fell in love with. On the flip side, she was also the first woman that hurt me very deeply. And I just talk it as me. I don't want to say we always had a love-hate relationship. I would say I always had a love-hate relationship with mommy because I felt conflicted. I felt certainly the love that I had for her, maternally, that you should have this love for your mom. But I also felt very hurt by some of her behaviors and how I felt I was treated. But I understand it better now at a deeper level, right? Because I'm older and I believe that my mother did the best that she could with the tools that she had. So I'm beyond the blaming game, right? It's just, it is what it is. It happened. It's something we lived through, something we survived, and something we overcame. And we're at a much better place today because I'm at a much better place. I will tell you though, for years, I held lots of anger and lots of resentment and probably even some hate towards my mother until I learned how to deal with it and how to be free in my own healing so that I could go on and be a better mother to my girls. Everything that I didn't like about her, or most things, just different things like her mannerisms and stuff like that, I ended up having those same types of behaviors. And probably even the way she mothered me in some ways, I ended up, doing that in my parenthood some ways too. So let's go to the painful part and just get that out the way. So when I was a child, very young, I was sexually abused. And there's no shame in that today because, of course, I'm past that, but it happened to me. And I didn't tell my mother until, like years later. And me and I don't want to put their business. Let me just keep this to me. So I was sexually abused. And I felt like I was crying out for help. I'm just going to be honest. My mother didn't hear me. She didn't see me, nor did she want to. And I felt like she didn't protect me from certain situations in my life. I also felt like I had always known from a very young child that I had a lot of fire, okay? And that I was different. Now, although back then I didn't know how to express it, I expressed it the best way that I could. Now, me and this mouth, I feel like my mouth has been a blessing and a curse. When I didn't understand how to express myself properly, then any and everything would come out of this mouth, right? And so that's just the deal that it was. But I felt like she didn't understand me as a child, so she never really nurtured what was in me, okay? This is just my feeling, my truth. And then there was some such situations, environmentally and socially that I was put in, and I feel like I never should have been put in. So thus that, therefore, and I also felt like I was neglected. I have two other sisters underneath me, and I always tell them, like, it seemed like I had the worst of my mom, and maybe they had the best of my mom because she was getting better. She was growing. She was evolving. But for me, I feel like I had the worst of her. I feel like I had her darkest days. I feel like when her and my dad divorced or they separated, whatever happened, although my mother did not express that vocally, she was going through that. It was in her energy. It was in her body language, so she was going through a lot. I understand that as a woman and how she was trying to, get past that. I just looked at it as I didn't think it was good or some of it appropriate behavior. But, who am I to judge? I'm just telling you my experience from a little person. And so a lot of those things hurt me deeply. And I felt like my mom was maybe an introvert. She was very to herself and just, I don't remember a lot of hugging, a lot of kissing, a lot of affection, a lot of time that we spent together. She was always like in a mood, and so much in a mood. We used to call her Moody because she was so moody, not understanding now that was probably some level of chemical imbalance and some other things that was going on that really had nothing to do with me. But because I was the closest thing to her and I was her first daughter, it was always misdirected at me. So I felt very unloved. You've heard my story, my autobiography. If you haven't, you could check it out on my YouTube page, the first 4 chapters anyway. I'm going to get back to it. Hold me to that. But it's just really, really painful. There's a lot of trauma, so it's taken me a while to get it out vocally. So anyway, I felt very neglected, and it was hurt, and, it was just effed up, the whole thing, right? But on the same token, I really, really loved this woman. And I couldn't understand why she was treating me like, it just felt like she didn't like me. And then it felt like she didn't love me. So I looked for affection. I'm one of those girls, you hear, they say women all the time, we have daddy issues. And my father, who was absent but present, meaning he was in our same town, I saw him, we had a relationship, all of that, but he wasn't specifically inside of the home, right? So you would think I would grow up with a lot of daddy issues. I grew up with daddy issues, but for some reason it wasn't like my mommy issues. And so I looked for love from other women. And I could remember the pattern from very early on. It was like if my mother had a girlfriend, I would always try to bond with her. Or, my auntie, I had a lot of aunties on my dad's side. My mother had one sister, even my mom's sister. Like, it was just, I would always try to be up underneath them or bond with them or go with them if she had a friend. And I could remember her calling me like, why are you always in these women's faces? And why are you always so fast? And you don't need to be friends with them and things like that. But it wasn't none of that. It was just that I was searching and longing for attention from a woman, a mother figure. Now, I grew up in the house with my maternal grandma, and I was very close to her. You always know, most of you know my story about Grandma Ruth and basically how she raised me, how I learned how to cook from her and just everything about her. I watched her, I mimicked her because she really was a mommy to me. My second mommy, my first mommy, whatever. And so, that's how it started. And then I could see years later how it played out. And it was always seemed to be like a set of girls that I was attracted to. Like if it was two sisters or three cousins or two cousins and a friend. I don't know. I just always seemed to group up with women like that. And they were always older than me. So I was in love with like my older cousins. If they're listening, they can verify this. I hung around them all the time, especially my cousin Tosh. I wanted to live with her. I did live with her at one point. I ran with her and she just I was looking for that from her too as well, whether she knew it or not. And, so I could see it later how it played out in my life. Now, ironically, I was never the type to, like, you would think you got a lot of mommy issues and issues with your relationship with women, that you would have problems with women. I never had issues with women. It was never, unless they just wanted to get into trouble and wanted to tag me into it, stuff like that. But I didn't go around having beefs with girls and, getting into that type of shit. That wasn't my thing. I always knew from a very young girl, I'm not going to tell the story again, but from 10 years old, when I was underneath a tree and I received a supernatural calling, I believe from the divine, to that I would basically minister to women, that would be my job, that I would uplift women. And thus started my role. So I never felt, negative towards them. Although my first role model as a woman, I had very negative feelings for. It was quite the opposite. I fell in love with women, and not in that romantic way, but always wanted to help them, to love them, to rescue them, because I had so much pain and brokenness around me from the women that I saw in my life, from things that were going on, that I wanted to heal that. I always knew I wanted to heal that. And let me tell you something. I have tried to do, now I'm one of them people, I'm multi-gifted. I can do a lot of things, and I do probably all of those things well. I mean, I just do. I didn't make myself like this. It's just how I am. A loaded gun, they used to call me, like, you a loaded gun, man. You can do a lot of different things. However, I tried to do different things. It's not like I wanted to, I ran from this call so hard and so fast, and it would almost put me in a state of agony if I could not help women, minister to women, talk to women, uplift women, encourage women. I would be in a funk. I would be depressed. It would be bad. So I kind of figured it out. Okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. I am one of those people. I have to admit that, boom, I ran smack dab into my purpose. I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't searching for it. I just ran into it and I ran with it. I'm a very consistent, disciplined person. Okay? So if I say I'm going to do something, you can guarantee it's going to happen. I'm going to do it. And so that's what I did. I ran with the call, and I've been running with it ever since, over, or maybe about, I don't know, lost count. I'm 30 years now, 29, 30, full-fledged. So anyway, we talking about mama, what I want you to know. And so I tried to communicate a lot of what I felt to my mom later on in life, but circumstances and situations happen. Okay. Like, for instance, my mom became ill and I didn't want to put the pressure on her and just bring up old stuff. You know how it is. As we were healing our relationship and I became ill, I had other things to focus on. You know, I grew up, I had children. Now, let me say this. My mom has been a wonderful grandmother. And I got a little joke around the house. The kids know it. I'll be like, she a great grandma to y'all, but she wasn't such a good mother to me. Hey, it's life. I suppose it could happen. No shade. It's just, it is what it is. And I got to keep emphasizing it because it's my truth. It's what I lived through. It's my perspective, which makes it my reality. Now, mommy probably has a whole different story, or, it seemed like that to me because she never remembers the things that I feel like actually happened. And it's all good now. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't live in the past and we can only focus on the future so much. We have to be present one with the other. And as a woman, I really understand that most of the issues and things that she dealt with probably had nothing to do with me. And I want to remind some of you out there who might be holding grudges and anger and all this stuff against your mom, and you didn't think she was a good mom, and maybe she was a terrible mother, but you have to heal that or start to heal some pieces of that in your life. Now, tonight is the short version, y'all, because I'm not getting into, I got a whole chapter about it called Mommy, again, on my autobiography on my YouTube page, Malika Speaks TV. You can go there and you can check it out with a lot of other great stuff, like all my Malika motivationals, my 1-minute Malika motivationals, and interviews are up there and all kinds of different stuff. I'm not on there live, so I don't really utilize the channel for that. It's just a place to post my work that I do, and not all of it is up there. So anyway, I was just thinking about that tonight. And some days I think about it harder than other days. I cry my eyes out. I go back to the why me. And, other days I wish it was really different. I wish we could have the bond that other moms and daughters have. And then other days I'm just really grateful that we overcame some of the stuff that we did. And that week, I'm sorry, y'all, I got hiccups. I don't know what happened. Let me just get a little sip of this lemonade, okay? This is real life, what is it called? Podcasting. Market side lemonade, the kind you get from down to the Walmart. I didn't make mine. Usually we make it here. We make fresh one. We just made what did we make? Strawberry lemonade the other day. But listen, I was down to the local Walmart, so I picked this up. Y'all hear what I'm saying? So anyway, so I was just thinking a lot about that, being that I guess Mother's Day is coming up, and I was going through my posts and I saw a post that one of my friends had posted, Jennifer. Shout out, Jenny. I love you, boo, if you're listening to this. And she had posted about one of our other friends' birthday, Sandra, a.k.a. Patrice. And I think that triggered me into all of this. Now, Patrice has transitioned, but Treese, I used to call her Treese, basically raised me too. It was like I was raised by a culmination of different women. She was just a young adult woman herself. And it's a long story, but she brought me home. And it was her and me, and her sister lived in the house. And we had another friend, Jenny, and then our other buddy, Nicole. And we was just like a group of girl sister friends. And basically I was the baby and they raised me. But I say all that to say I could see how this happened, right? Because I was always looking for that mother figure. And so, I was just thinking about that a little bit today. And I wasn't really having negative feelings surrounding it. I'm just thinking about Mother's Day. Last Mother's Day, we did a live and I brought people online and we talked about, it was called the Not So Happy Mother's Day, because everybody thinks that Mother's Day is supposed to be happy and you got all these memories of a great mother and the roses. And even if your mother's not here, you miss her. But we don't hear a lot of the stories about everybody did not have that experience. Everybody didn't have a wonderful mother bond. Again, I want to send out condolences to another friend of mine. If she's listening, Lanika Young, she just lost her mom. And then another friend of mine, she was missing her mom. So it's a lot of mom stuff going on in the spirit realm, I'll say. And we're not upon Mother's Day yet, but it's coming. And so while I felt the urgency, all right, we're at 20 minutes and 36 seconds. Now, y'all know I said these was just going to be little 20-minute joints. Just, a little hit. Boom, boom, boom. Small, powerful hit. But, and I won't post it like right away tomorrow. I'm going to wait closer to Mother's Day and then I'm going to let it roll. But I just think about that today, and I don't know. Sometimes I just feel lost about it. I still feel lost. Sometimes I just want to get the little Malika and I want to hug her and I want to kiss her and I want to tell her it's going to be okay. Because the truth is, she didn't get everything that she needed. She was missing a whole hell of a lot, but she survived it. And I'm so grateful for that today. And I look at my daughters now. Okay, these will be both my daughters are expecting, if you don't already know. Both. So I'm going to be a Mimi 2 times in 2020. And both of them are in different stages and phases of their pregnancy. And it's beautiful. Although they're a moody AF. I was getting ready to say it. Ooh, it's going to slip out. They are both moody AF. If you know what that is. If you don't, go to your Urban Dictionary. So, we're dealing with a lot, but it's, I am so enjoying it because our bond is strengthening. And of course, we're getting, stronger as they're going to become mothers. And I just love that they ask me questions and that they need me and that I feel valued and I feel wanted. It's all of the things that I never felt. And I do feel like sometimes when we go through things and we don't get it, we get it in other ways. So that's my message of encouragement in all this, right? To hold on. Now, let me back up a little bit. Now, all through that growing up, I never really had it, right? I didn't have it from my own biological mom. I was chasing every other woman, and I didn't get it from them. But years later in my life, I began to be, these divinely guided women were sent into my life who mothered me. And it was like all the mothering that they did to me kind of made up for what I didn't have. And it also made me a better mom, right? I didn't get all that stuff, but I knew what I was missing. I knew what I wanted, and I knew what I didn't want my daughters to feel, which is what I felt. I never wanted them to feel alone or neglected or like they could not come to me or that I didn't believe their truth or that I wouldn't go to bat for them at a drop of a dime. And I know that I've accomplished that because they know I'm the real like, don't F with my cubs. Like, I will pull up on you and you will know a totally different Malika. Like, I don't play that. That's the one thing I don't play with. Do not play with my kids, my children, my girls, right? And I love my girls. Anybody who knows us know we are very closely bonded, okay? And I'm going to just leave that at that. So anyway, they're pregnant now and it's so cute. And our bond is strengthening in this. And I know they're going to be both great mommies, and this is their first Mother's Day. So I told them this. They know I'm very transparent. That's how my motherhood is. Like, I don't keep secrets from my girls or hide things from them or try to act like stuff didn't happen in my past. Like, I'm 100 with them. Just how I'm 100. Listen, how I am with y'all is how I am with them. That's how I am with everybody. I'm not like this in the house and not like this out the house. I'm like this all the time. I don't change for different situations and scenarios. And I actually love that about myself. And I think people love that about me too. That's why, They can trust me and they come to me. So anyway, we going to be talking a lot about different stuff, y'all. This podcast, I'm expecting it to do great things. It's new. So I've just made a few of them, although I've been doing this for years. If you know me, I was doing it. I've always been ahead of my time, before my time. When no one was thinking about podcasting and doing all of this stuff that we do now, I was already doing it. That's why I'm like, I'm not impressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to come better than that. But my information, education, has always been to uplift the woman and to uplift the Black woman. Yes, I said it. Yes, I did. It is, yes, first is to uplift humanity. Yes, it is. But then you want to get more specific, it's to uplift the woman. I've been called to do that. I didn't just do that because I have a skill set and a set of tools and I learned it, or it's just a fad, or I feel like it would be a good thing because, we're in women's empowerment or whatever. I'm divinely called to do this work because there's no way I could be still doing it and standing, not with character and not with integrity. I never had to sold my soul. I never sold no pussy. You know what I mean? I never had to do nothing strange for a little bit of change. I've always kept it on the up and up. And I believe that is what, women want from one another, and we want to be respected. So I don't care if you from the lowest to the highest, or I don't believe in none of them hierarchy scales. And we are women. We all have similar things in common. And I love each and every one of us. If you don't know nobody's for the sisterhood, you better know that Malika is for the sisterhood. I'm always going to speak and be a voice for the voiceless. I'm always going to stand up for you. If you can't stand up for yourself, I'm always going to be the friend that if somebody mess with you, they're going to have to mess with me too. And I will do a pull up, a drive by, whatever. We'll bust the windows out the car. We'll slit some tires. That's a little crazy. But I'm just saying, I'm sorry, y'all, for my notifications. I didn't put my phone on do not disturb. I like everything to be real. But anyway, I love y'all so much. And I hope that, sometimes I do get discouraged. I'm not going to lie. I'll be like, nobody ain't listening to me. And they got me all shadow banned on YouTube and Facebook. And ain't nobody even hearing it. And ain't nobody's life changing. But I know that people's lives have changed over the years because of something that I said, or something that I helped to prevent them from jumping off a ledge or killing themselves or going crazy or staying in a relationship or just being a stronger woman. Like, I'm never going to stop that until all the air is out of me, until I leave, I leave here. That's what I want to be remembered by. That's what I want to be remembered for, how I impacted women's lives, so I'm never going to give up. Although I might cry, believe me, it's been some days I've cried my eyes out because I just don't be like, ain't nobody listening and why am I doing this and yada. Because it don't be seeming like it be paying off sometimes, especially when you don't do it for money. Right. And believe me, I tried to do it for money, and I used to have my whole business set up like that and all of that. But that's not just really my thing, y'all. I just love to do it. People want to give donations, and they do that, and you're welcome to do that. They just feel like, hey, you blessed me with something you said, or you changed my life with something you said. I always leave the option, that you can be a blessing to me. I ain't begging for no donations. I ain't asking for no donations. I do not get down like that. I have several businesses that I run and a retirement income that I'll be getting for the rest of my life. So I ain't on that. Everything else just icing on the cake. You feel me? But I would never take that away from you if you feel like you want to, give a donation or give some way to do that. You could always contact me and I give you, my Cash App or something like that. I'm not going to leave it on this. I don't even know where to leave it on this thing when I, when I post it. But I just want to let you know that Mother's Day is coming up. I love y'all. To all the mothers, to all the gonna be mommies, to all the new mommies, the old mommies, the people that are missing their mommies, the people that had effed up relationships with their mommies, didn't get along with their mommies. Maybe their mommies weren't there. I still want to give honor and I want to give love to that situation and just put that healing power into the universe. My prayer and my intent, y'all, is that we all heal from the disgusting, terrible shit that happened to us in life. But the truth of the matter is it happened and we can't change it. All we could do is try to heal from it and become, better people. And if we're mommies, then we have a responsibility. I feel a large responsibility first to my daughters. Because, when people want to give, especially when you work in this industry, right, they want to give little digs at you. They always try to drag your family into it or some shit like that. It's been done to me too. Like, you out there saving everybody else. You need to be worrying about your own kids. Or, they'll just find stuff. So I never want to be out here doing everything for the world and mine not straight. You feel me? So mine is always straight. Charity, what they say, begins at home. And I'm always investing. My greatest investment is my daughters. You better believe that. But I love y'all so very much. We at 31 minutes, honey. But I love y'all so much. To each and every one of you, have a happy Mother's Day. I want you to continue on your self-love journey. I want you to continue on your healing journey so you can love your damn self. That's what it's all about. Can't be waiting on nobody to do it. Because I hate to tell you, but the Calgary ain't coming for you, boo. You have to first love your damn self. Then you enable others. They feel that energy. They're like, something different about she love herself. So I know I can't treat her a certain way. Like you teach people how to treat you. So I love y'all. It's Malika, your mommy. To some of y'all, I'm your mommy. Some of y'all, I'm your auntie. Some of y'all, I'm your big sis. Some of y'all, I'm your girly girl. Some of y'all, I'm your cousin, but it's just Malika, and I am signing off from Love Your Damn Self. Talk to you soon.